Hello. Hello. I am going to wait a couple minutes as always to see who is going to be joining us, who might be catching the live stream, and I want to welcome everybody who is watching this on the replay. It is today the new moon in Leo, and this is a really beautiful new moon. I know we always say this, but it truly is. Many people calling this the luckiest moon of the year. And that has a lot to do with the fact that we have a beautiful aspect being made to Jupiter, who is stationing to begin retrograde, interestingly enough, today. So we got that really strong Jupiterian energy complementing this new moon. Hello, jump in the chat and let me know that you're here. Hello, Jamie. Yes, I know. I'm so excited. I'm sure you're really excited for this new moon as well. I don't know if you have a video that you put out on the new moon, Jamie. If you did, definitely plug it in the live chat so people can check it out. Jamie makes wonderful videos, astrology videos with some tarot sometimes as well. Her channel's incredible. If you haven't checked it out yet, just click on her little icon there in the chat and it'll take you right to her channel so you can subscribe. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Shauna. Oh, it's great to see you. Oh, hello, Daisy Morningstar. Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. Welcome. I'm so glad that you found this channel, and we are so happy to have you here in this tribe. I am very grateful to have the opportunity to do another live stream with you guys today. The baby's doing great. We're all doing great. New motherhood and this fourth trimester, as they call it, that's I found out that's what they call the first 3 months after the child is born. It's intense, but we're working through it. There's ups, there's downs, just like anything else, right? But yes, I had the opportunity to hop on and share in this energy and really tap into it live. We're going to go over the aspects of this new moon after a few more people hop on. And then, of course, we're going to pull some cards as well. Every new and full moon is really a portal in and of itself. All right. And so we have that powerful energy beyond even what we discuss when we're talking about the energies of the archetypes and the astrology, right? We have these galactic energies pouring in, especially right now as we are preparing and moving toward that 8-8 portal, and that conjunction in a couple days will have the exactness of that triple conjunction with the North Node, Mars, and Uranus. I think I'm gonna have mommy brain for a while still, so we're gonna keep blaming it on that. There is a video on that conjunction as well as the 8-8 portal if you guys haven't checked those out yet. And I'm hoping to get another, maybe a pick a pile reading done for the 8-8 portal as well if this week allows. And so we're gonna play that by ear. But we just came out of that galactic new year on the 26th. That was a huge portal of energy. We're moving through this new moon. It's really opening up a whole new level of energies for us to access. There's a powerful manifestation potential with this new moon. So we're going to look at all of this and we're going to dig into it, of course, as I said, as we do with the cards afterwards as well. And if I have time or anybody else has time or remembers, I may try to timestamp this for you guys so you know when the reading portion starts with the cards, when we really get into talking about the aspects, all of that stuff, because I know these do get kind of long. But I think most people enjoy that. I'm not a short-winded person, so YouTube is really the best forum for me. Some of those shorter formats, it's a bit challenging, and I love being able to get on here live with you guys. Hello, how do you say that? Senia Durst. That is a beautiful name, by the way. Hello, Yellow Rose. Hello, Jen M. Oh, I'm so happy that everybody's here. Hello, Shauna. Well, not everybody, but we got a good group going right now. And I know that more people tend to pop in and out as we go through. So as you pop in, I don't know why I'm saying this now. The people that are going to pop in later are not going to hear it, but Hello, Pippi. Yay. I was just thinking of you and wondering if you were going to catch this. That's absolutely perfect. So let's get into this a little bit, you guys. And I have looked at the chart a little bit. We're kind of going to be doing this and playing this by ear to an extent as well as we go through. But yeah, so the first thing that I noticed when I was looking at this chart for the new moon was how interesting. Oh, I love you too. I love you all so much. How interesting it was that when we had that full moon in Capricorn, we had a conjunction in Cancer of the Sun, Mercury, and Ceres, I believe it was. And now for this new moon in Leo, the following moon, we have a conjunction of the Sun, the Moon, and Ceres in the sign of Leo. And so Mercury has moved on. Did we I'm not going to question it. We're just going to go. I was about to say, but I know Mercury moves fast, but we're not going to question it. That's what happened. I remember seeing it. So we had that power. Like I said, just bear with me, you guys. Ceres has moved on. Mercury has moved on now in the sign of Leo, making some interesting aspects that we're going to talk about during this new moon. But we have Ceres who has moved into conjunction once again, kind of staying with the sun here, right? And now the moon is coming into the picture. And so during that new moon that full moon in Capricorn, rather, we had all this energy in Cancer that was really bringing, whenever we have Ceres present, hello, Moon Dancer, welcome, happy new moon. Whenever we have Ceres present, what Ceres is asking us to do is hello, Light Maker, is to look at the ways that we nurture and the ways that we feel nurtured. And so when we look at Ceres in our personal natal charts, it can show how we nurture and possibly give us cues to how we were nurtured as children. And so when we had this conjunction here of Mercury, Ceres, and the sun during that full moon in Capricorn, there was a big energy of us really looking at that quality of how it is, remember with Cancer, how it is that we mother ourselves, how it is that we nurture ourselves and give ourselves that love. And yes, how we're able to give that to others. And this may have brought some people back to their childhood. And it may have brought up some wounds around the nurturing, around the mother figure and the mother energy, and how it was that we feel that we received or didn't receive the nurturing that we needed as children, and how it is that we're now being called to give that nurturing, to be that nurturer for ourselves. And then, yes, of course, we carry that out to the world. But first and foremost, we have to learn to nurture ourselves, to mother ourselves. And so that was a big energy. That was big in our consciousness, because it was the full moon in Capricorn, right? But our consciousness, the sun energy and the Mercury energy was on this Cancer energy and this Ceres energy. Ceres, very powerful in Cancer, as Cancer is the most nurturing of the signs, right? And Ceres does represent that eternal mother figure energy. So now we have this energy moving on into the sign of Leo and being conjunct the moon and the sun in Leo during this new moon. And so we have this energy being brought forward, right? And that Capricorn energy of the full moon was asking us, remember, Capricorn energy always wants us to step up. It is an energy of maturity. It is ruled by Saturn. So it's asking us to take the actions we need to take when it comes to what's coming through and what we're understanding about how it is that we need to heal and how it is that we can best and better nurture ourselves. And now, as Ceres moves into this fire sign, it's this fixed fire of Leo. It's very much about those actions that we're taking around that being carried through. But it's also an energy that's asking us to look at how we nurture ourselves creatively, how it is that we express ourselves, right? Because Ceres in Leo is all about the way we nurture through expression, through self-expression. It can be about validation. And so we may have energies coming up during this new moon with this conjunction with Ceres around validation and where it is that we did not receive validation. Once again, a lot of this stuff goes back to childhood. Right? We're working with childhood energy. Again, when we're working with Leo, we're working with that inner child. Cancer, we're working with the home, the roots. And yes, that young child is what it feels like with Cancer. And then we're working with that inner child and all the ways that that inner child has developed or been hindered in its development. And so how are we able to express ourselves? This energy is also calling us to express ourselves creatively and to nourish ourselves through creative expression. Oh, that's wonderful, Mitchell, and welcome. I'm so glad your inner child is happy today. With this new moon in Leo, it's all about the inner child, right? And it's all about that energy of nurturing that and playing, nurturing through play. How is it that we can nurture ourselves through play, right? I'm being called to tell people to look at this almost like if you would look at playing with a child and entertaining a child, right? Sitting down, coloring a picture together, going out and wandering around in nature, building sand castles. Like, what are these things that you can do that you would do to entertain a child? And can you do some of those things with yourself? If you have children in your life, go ahead and do them with children because they will show you how to play. They really stimulate our creativity and our innocence because they are so creative and innocent. So if you have literal children that you can hang out with today or in this next week or throughout Leo season, really, or I mean, let's not limit ourselves anytime, right? Go ahead and do that. But if you don't, treat yourself as that child and entertain yourself the way you would entertain a child. If you have like an old swing set somewhere that you can go sit on and swing, right? Just do these little things that make your heart lighter, because with every day that we have, there's always the heavier side of the energies and the lighter side of the energies. And so if you find yourself on the heavier side of the energies, how can you lighten that up? And that doesn't necessarily mean ignore what's coming up that feels heavy. But at the same time, don't get bogged down in it. And I just want to remind everyone real quick who's on here, go ahead and hit that like button so that we can get this video circulating more. All right, so what else do we want to look at here? So we're looking at that. We have an opposition to Pluto to this new moon as well. And so this is interesting, and this is showing Pluto in this oppositional point of view is really bringing things up to the surface. And so any of our subconscious fears around our creativity, around our self-expression, around even our ability to be childlike, and a lot of these childhood wounds are really getting stirred up by that Plutonian energy. Because Pluto in Capricorn really is like a Saturn on steroids is what it feels like as I'm describing this right now. It wants us to grow and evolve. And it's very much nose to the grindstone, especially as Saturn or Capricorn or Pluto moves through these last few degrees of Capricorn here. He's really pushing us to evolve and to look at the things that make us uncomfortable. And so we may feel some of that sort of pushing to the surface as well. We may feel some of those fears and insecurities coming up around. I'm hearing like stolen innocence. And so there's trauma and wounds coming up for people possibly around this new moon as well. I don't know why I said will. That's interesting. I don't know if that's like a Freudian slip of a name or if that just has to do with our solar plexus and our willpower. Like our will was affected by these traumas, our ability to exact that will and to feel confident and expressive. But there's definitely that energy of looking at where it was that we feel like we talk about this phrase gets used a lot in our society, right? This stolen innocence. And so where it is that we feel that we lost our innocence, that energy and any traumas surrounding that, or not even just that moment or period of time in our lives, but everything subsequent where we feel like we lost that ability. Hello, CJD, welcome. That we lost that ability to be free and innocent and joyful and childlike. A lot of that may be coming to the surface for people. And like we said, just fears and wounds around our ability to express ourselves in any way that inner child was wounded. And some of this may be carried on from that full moon in Capricorn and those energies when we had Ceres conjunct, of course, like we said, Mercury and the sun in the sign of Cancer opposing that full moon in Capricorn. We also have before we go on to that, we'll talk about the beautiful aspect that we have going on here. With this, and this is partially, I think, why a lot of people are calling this the luckiest moon of the year. Hello. I love you guys so much. We are calling it that because we have this beautiful trine being made. I want to check that I have the aspect right. Yes, a trine. This beautiful trine being made to Jupiter. as Jupiter is, of course, entering the retrograde period in the sign of Aries. So Jupiter is actually stationed, being at its most powerful. When a planet is stationed, it appears to be standing still in the sky as it changes direction and switches either from direct to retrograde or retrograde to direct. In this case, we're moving from direct into retrograde. All right. So as the planet appears to change directions, it slows down, comes to a standstill, and then begins moving the opposite way. When it is at that standstill, that energy radiates. So this is really what I feel, this Jupiterian energy really assisting in opening up this new moon portal to allow all of this high vibrational energy in, all of these activating downloads surrounding this Leo energy. And I'm being told that if we have some of these wounds coming up, these inner child wounds, the stolen innocence wounds and traumas, it's part of it has to do with these high vibrational energies coming in. It's coming up on purpose because we're cleansing ourselves and we're clearing ourselves from that energy at a cellular level. So allow yourself to go through the experience of that and love yourself fiercely through that process. And know and understand that your soul chose that in order to grow. All right. And we can have that experience. We can gain that wisdom, but we don't have to retain the trauma and the anger and the resentment and the frustration of that. We can release that. We can let that go. And it doesn't mean, if we let that go, it doesn't mean that we're saying that what happened was okay. All right. And this is where it gets dicey. This is where it gets funny, I guess you could say, right? Because we know that all of our souls came here with these scripts, essentially. Right? We're all kind of like actors in a play. We knew our part. We studied our lines to some extent to continue this metaphor, which is great for Leo energy because Leo is the performer, right? Before we came down here. And so not only did I choose my part, but the people who came into my life to challenge me chose their parts too. And oftentimes they chose that out of love. One thing that I understand is that the souls that come here to challenge me the most, many times, are the souls that love me the most, if you can put distinctions like that upon love, which I don't know that you can do in the other dimensions. But for sake of this analogy, we're going with it. All right. They have such incredible love for me that they agreed to come down here and cause me incredible pain so that I could grow, so that my soul could achieve what my soul came here to achieve in this lifetime, that my soul didn't believe it could achieve any other way. That's really powerful. They knew that the experience that we would have in this lifetime would not be gentle, right? Our souls being so connected could have had a beautiful, gentle, symbiotic relationship and a beautiful experience together. But we chose a different kind of beauty because they loved me that much to come here and teach me through hardship, to teach me through pain, the things that my soul felt it needed, it couldn't learn any other way. Or maybe it could, but pain is faster. All right, that's the thing. We do not need pain to evolve. But a lot of times in this human journey, pain is the fastest way to do that because it really lights a fire under our ass. All right, so these people came to light a fire under my ass and it worked. All right, and so we know that, right? We can acknowledge that on a mental level, but it's still really hard. And we get down here and we realize, like, yeah, their soul agreed to do that for me, but they don't remember that. You know, like their human self doesn't remember that. Their human self is just doing this because that's what they, so it gets a little, like we get a little, I know that I have people that I've forgiven and I've had conversations like with them, but then it's the same time I'm like, your soul knew that you came here to do this, but you had no idea. You're just being you and acting out of your human self. So these are still your choices and decisions that are I don't want to say creating the situation because I play just as an equal part, but you guys know what I mean. It gets a little, it's difficult for us to fully embrace that and internalize that and feel that on an unconscious level. But it can really help to put it into perspective that way, because we have to release these energies. That's the healing part. Is when we release ourselves from the attachment to that energy, the attachment to that pain, the resentment above all else. Resentment is, in my opinion, one of the most deeply layered emotions. And it's also one of the most toxic. And it's so difficult to release because it sinks so far in, right? it really pervades us on a powerful level. But that's the work that we're doing. We're excavating that resentment so that we can be free. Yeah, absolutely, Daisy. I have so much gratitude to the people who agreed to come here and do those hard jobs and create these situations that really provided dynamic growth for me. It doesn't necessarily mean that I need to have them in my life anymore. But I have appreciation for that. But sometimes, like, we appreciate from a distance. That's generally the best thing to do in a lot of these scenarios. I want to throw out that disclaimer as well. All right. Hello, Michelle. Welcome, beautiful. And I am so sorry, Senya. I asked how to pronounce your name, and then I kept talking and got carried away, as I do, and I didn't look to see if that was correct or not. But however you say it, I'm gonna pay attention to see how I did with that. But it's gorgeous either way, as I said. All right, so we got that Jupiterian energy really enhancing, and this is enhancing our ability to manifest. All right, to really take hold of that fiery energy, that creative spark, that it's like the ignition switch, right? So we're flipping that ignition, and it's time to move forward. And we can really create on a dynamic level with this energy, with this assistance of Jupiter today. So pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to what it is that you are desiring, what it is that you are wanting to bring into form, because you can really do that. And this is especially when it comes to our creative pursuits. This energy is very, very helpful. Anything that we have desired. And remember, though, we have Jupiter getting ready to go retrograde. And so this energy is intense and powerful, but we may not see the full results of this or really feel a whole lot of outer progress as Jupiter goes through its retrograde. We may have to wait until Jupiter goes direct in order to really see some results here. So keep that in mind, and don't just be discouraged if that happens to be the case. Although I really feel for some, it's kind of like blessings and solutions falling from the sky. So it's going to be different for everyone, but just keep that in mind. Keep it in mind that as Jupiter goes retrograde, we may be revising our wants, our needs, our desires, our beliefs. And so just keep that looseness with your manifestations, this or something better. And just be open to divine timing. Divine timing is going to happen either way. Oh, yes, that's wonderful. I really love that. Your name is gorgeous. I love it. Yeah. Just be open. I said be open to divine timing. We kind of have to be, because divine timing is going to happen regardless of whether we're open or not. It just is. And I love how when I repeated that, it was 22:44 on the clock, and now it was 22:55 when I just pointed that out. So that's great. I think something else was said around 11:11. I know I pay attention to my timer because I think it's interesting how things come out like that. And we got 3:33. Michelle noting. Where it is that you are in the world. I love it. Oh, that's where I am in the world. I tell you, this fourth trimester of parenthood here, of pregnancy, it's time all blends together even more than it did before. I have no idea what day it is. I have no idea what time it is most of the time. I was aware that today was the new moon. It is actually my sister's birthday today as well. Her gorgeous Leo self. She doesn't watch these videos, so she won't see this, but we'll give a shout out to her on her birthday. Her day of birth, her solar return. Hello, McKenna. Welcome. Hello. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Grateful for the trials. All right. So let's take a look at what else we have going on here. So we have, first I want to point out another interesting aspect that we have. We have Venus right now in Cancer, conjunct both estimations of Black Moon Lilith. So both Black Moon Lilith and True Black Moon Lilith, which are two different ways that people estimate her position. Oh no, my baby was already born, Valoria. My baby is a Cancer. He was born on July 6th during the Syrian Gateway. Yes, he's actually he's 22 days old today, as a matter of fact. My partner did not want him to be a Leo, so he was very happy. The idea of raising a male Leo was a little more than he could handle. So no offense to all you male Leos out there. I love everybody of every astrological sign. I think we're all fantastic. I love the interplays of all these energies. So I love it all. There's no sign where I'm like, ooh. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, that's intense, right? Because I immediately being empathic, put myself in their shoes, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, for example, Scorpio energy is intense. My mom's a double Scorpio. I only have my Pluto in Scorpio, and Scorpio ruling my 5th house. And I got to tell you guys, like that, whoo, that Scorpiotic energy. Being a Cancer rising, every time the moon hits Scorpio, I feel it. So I can only imagine having that strong energy. My good friend Tommy's a Scorpio rising, and it's intense. So there are times where I do that, but it's just because I'm feeling for you what that experience is like. But Scorpio is actually my favorite energy to talk about and to think about. But when I'm right in it, sometimes it's probably akin to the fact that Pluto is my favorite planet. But yes, absolutely. Big lessons with Scorpio. Very powerful. So yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I love all signs, but that was the running joke. The running joke when I was pregnant was that he was going to come out as a Leo. I thought he might be a cusp, but I honestly could not wait that long. Pregnancy was a rough experience for me, and I'm still recovering from it, obviously. But thank you, Valoria. Hello, excited. All right, making sure I didn't miss anything else. Sun in Leo, Leo rising, moon in Virgo. Oh, I love it. My moon's in Virgo too, Pippi. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a lot of that. One of my best friends is a Leo. My sister is a Leo. Like I said, I love that. I love that Leo energy. I am gonna tease everyone for a minute though and say a big shout out to all my Leos who are having birthdays this season. I know that you Leos are very, very you really love your birthdays and are big into celebrating that energy. I was laughing the other day, noticing that with all the Leos that I know, how very important their birthdays are to them, which makes sense. Leo is ruled by the sun, right? And it's all about being appreciated and being acknowledged and acknowledging the impact that you make on this planet. And you all do make such an impact. I love you. See, I absolutely love you, Pippi. So I get along great with Leos. I get along great with pretty much everyone, as far as, like signs don't really make a difference to me. I mean, it's that Venus and Gemini. I'm able to roll with the punches when it comes to pretty much any astrological sign. I see the beauty in everyone. It's a gift and sometimes a curse, right? I think those of you who can relate to that know what I mean. Yes, happy birthday to your daughter. Happy birthday. What about Mary Magdalene energy? Tell me more about this. Is she related to the Leo energy? Senya, is that where that's coming from, or are you just picking up on that energy? Oh yeah, dating Scorpios, Valoria. That is intense. That is intense. Scorpios and Virgos, and I say that with love because I have a lot of Virgo energy myself. So, oh, interesting, Shauna. Interesting. Yeah, that must have to do with other aspects in your natal chart there. But as we were saying, so we have Venus in Cancer, conjunct true black moon, both definitions of black moon Lilith. So there's this deep, once again, this brings us back to that energy that we were talking about. And that energy that has to do with that conjunction of Ceres, the sun, and Mercury. So we're once back again to that nurturing. There are wounds coming up related to the mother energy, to that nurturing energy, to those early childhood years. And especially with true black moon here, this has to do a lot to do with the feminine energy, right? So that feminine side of our essence, and anywhere where we feel as though we have been wronged or held back from being able to express. For some people, it's our ability to express that side of ourselves, to express our feminine. And so this can be for men and women, right? For anybody, this energy right here of whether we identify as male or female, feeling as though for some reason our feminine energy was wounded and we weren't able to express it properly, right? So really healing that energy as well. And we may be triggered when it comes to this, but there is a real activation of the feminine energy anytime we have Venus and true black moon come together, because they are the two sides, the shadow side of the feminine and the more traditional side of the feminine energy kind of merging together. So there's a healing here. There's a deep possibility for healing this energy. And there are some squares being made. I see a square to Jupiter here. So it's a bit of a tense aspect, but that healing is possible, and Jupiter wants us to expand. Jupiter is calling us to expand beyond the definition of ourselves that we've lived our lives by in the past, the way we've defined and seen ourselves in the past, these old wounds that we talked about, that whole speech that we just had around that. This energy of Jupiter is asking us and telling us you can expand beyond that. You can grow beyond that. You can release those belief systems that tell you that because of X, Y, and Z, because you had this experience as a child, you have to be this way now, or you're always going to be this way. Spirit really wants us to pay attention around this time to when we find ourselves using words like always and never. These absolutes, we want to move beyond these absolutes. We have also, so a very interesting energy we have going on here is an opposition between Mercury and Saturn. So Mercury in Leo, Saturn in Aquarius. And then this, of course, is joining in with the T-square being made between the nodes, Saturn, and now, of course, Uranus and Mars, who are joined into this. So this is a lot of energy, you guys. This is a big energy. This would be what they would call a grand cross, which is the most intense aspect that we can find in an astrological chart. So this is powerful, powerful, high voltage energy here, really activating. And as I said, go ahead and check out that video on the triple conjunction of Mars, the North Node, and Uranus, because this energy is being activated. There's a whole video on that. There's tons of stuff. Everybody's talking about this right now because this is the first time in like 2,300 years that we've had this specific alignment in the sign of Taurus. So then we have this opposition, this Mercury joining here, opposing these energies, and really kind of supercharging this. This is on our minds, this energy of freedom, this energy of living our purpose, our path, where it is that we feel restricted in that, where it is that we're being asked to break free, to break out of the mold. All right. This responsibility and this energy of the self, Mercury in Leo, is very much, and I'm saying this in a positive way, but it's very self-oriented, right? That's the energy of Mercury in Leo. And so we've got that energy of the self, the energy of I'm feeling it as the identity. And yes, the ego, the core of who we believe ourselves to be, the core of who we are, at least in our minds at this time, being challenged by this energy. We're being challenged to think of everything in a greater collective sense, right? And this is true for every individual. I'm seeing this right now, the way that it's going in the world, right? We have these perceived shortages, right? We have all of these, and I say that they're real, but possibly manufactured. We're not going to go into all of that here, but we have these things being orchestrated, right? These major collective challenges that we are facing as a society, not just a society in our own country, but as a global society. And so we're being asked to think about those energies and the needs of the whole and compare those with the needs of the self. All right. And it's very much this energy of how do I express myself? Remember, Mercury, Leo, very much about expression. How do I express myself in this world? How do I live my truth? How do I live my purpose? But also keep in sight of that responsibility. What is my responsibility? Is that my greatest responsibility? So there's a lot that we're asking. There's a lot that we're being asked to look at. There's a lot of different factors here as we're being urged to move forward, to really shed the old aspects and vestiges of the ego that are not helpful, right? It's like, that's what it is. It's the sifting and sorting through of what are the healthy and helpful aspects of my ego and my self-identity versus what needs to be let go and discarded. What aspects of my identity have I taken on from the collective? Have I inherited from my family, from society that don't really fit me? And which ones do? What are the greater goals and aspirations that I have for society as a whole and for my own life? And how do those mix and meld together? Right? How can I really truly best be that example for others? How can I best walk my talk? And so much more. So really, I'm digging into and meditating on that energy. That, like, anytime we have a grand cross, that is a high voltage energy that really takes center stage. That would be one of the most important aspects to notice in a person's natal chart, and definitely in a day's chart or a day's energy. And so we want to really note that and feel that energy sort of broiling under the scenes or behind the scenes, if you will. Hello, Liquid Fire. It's wonderful to see you as well. I'm so glad you were able to catch this. Meditations for heart chakra activation. Absolutely. Leo, very much associated with the heart, huge heart openings that we are receiving. Meditate on the heart chakra, solar plexus. I was also feeling the third eye heavily activated during this portal, moving up toward this Lionsgate portal. And go outside and receive those healing transmissions from the sun. Hello, Robin. Oh, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you. All the way from Australia. I love it. We love our Aussie contingent here. Hello, Susie Sunshine. Hello, Robin. Hello, Ancient Rosewater. Hello, Mark. In the house. I love it. All right. So there's one more aspect that I want to talk about before we pull a few cards here. And that is the aspect of Juno conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And this is an energy that is actually trine, in a loose trine to this T-square here, or at least to the south node, so to part of this T-square. And very loosely aspecting the sun and the moon. And so I was feeling this as I was looking at the chart as a really powerful soulmate energy. And so I'm feeling soulmates connecting, coming together. Remember that Pisces energy is all about soul. And so these deep and powerful soul connections that we are manifesting into our reality, that we are creating and cultivating. And so I'm feeling people becoming aware of soul contracts, becoming aware of soulmates and soul partners during and around this energy, really drawing that energy into them. A lot of times, if we're looking at Juno and Neptune conjunct in Pisces, that Neptunian energy can be a bit illusory. And so we want to make sure that we are not seeing people through rose-colored glasses or being too fantastical in the ways that we're imagining our connections with others. But with Neptune retrograde, it's more about seeing through the veil of illusion than it is about being blindsided by it. And so I'm feeling this as a more, it really feels to me less about mistaking a connection and more about really recognizing where we have these deep soul connections and being drawn to them. And some people possibly meeting soulmates or soul partners during and around this time. People that inspire them, that have the same spiritual ideals. All right, so I actually want to start with some traditional tarot to get us going here for the reading portion. Thank you, Robin. Hello, Solik. It's wonderful to see you. Oh, you guys are so incredible. Oh yeah, interesting, Jamie. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Something really fascinating too that I wanted to talk about. That's a little bit off topic here, but nothing's ever really off topic, right? Is that I'm noticing as I go through this first stage of motherhood, right? I'm really noticing where it is that sort of cultural energies have wormed their way into my consciousness still, and like the societal programming that exists. For instance, my partner has been incredibly helpful, really taking on a lot of the responsibilities as we move through this fourth trimester together of caring for this little one. He's really been a rock star and just a rock for me in general. And I have these moments when I feel that mother's guilt comes in, and I feel like guilty for letting him do too much, quote unquote. Like I should be taking all that responsibility, and I'm not taking enough responsibility. It's really fascinating I wanted to bring that up because I just thought it was interesting. And this goes into the mother and the nurturing energy and all of that stuff that we were talking about, right? And this true black moon conjunct what was it? Venus energy as well in Cancer, and all of this stuff, right? These roles of the masculine and the feminine, and the ways that our culture says that the woman is the sole caregiver of the child, right? That's sort of like a lot of us women have been expected to do a lot for a lot of our lives. That's essentially throughout history in many cultures. Women were the child bearers. They were the ones who had children, took care of the children. That was our role. That was our purpose, essentially, right? And we've moved out of that. Women have been able to expand, and that doesn't mean that that's not a powerful purpose. It just means that that's not the only purpose that we have, right? But there's still this programming that says you should be doing most of this, or you're not a good mother, right? And so when I allow him to let me sleep through the night, which I get a little, I feel that postpartum pretty intensely when I don't get a lot of rest and I have trouble with the late, even being a night person, something about those really early morning hours and then sleeping into the day, like it can really throw me for a loop. And so he does a lot of that. And obviously, he's caring for our child while I'm doing this live stream and so on and so forth. He really, really takes care of us both exquisitely. I have an incredible partner. I'm so grateful for him. But that energy comes in where it says that tries to tell me you're a bad mom, right? You're a bad partner because you should be taking on more of this energy, And I had my friend pointed out to me the other day, or reminded me rather of the fact that we spend 9 months carrying this child, and then we have all this time where our bodies are trying to heal from everything they've just went through. They're trying to normalize themselves again. For people such as I had a surgery when I had my child, so my body's recovering from that. It's a lot. And so it's okay to take all that extra help, but it's that old societal programming that says what a mother and what a woman should and shouldn't do, that wants to creep up on me and make me feel guilty. So I just found it fascinating. This is what I try to do, is I have these experiences, and then I really look at them from this point of view of trying to understand where those belief systems, where that indoctrination is present in everything that I experience and that I think. And so, yeah, I find it compelling, just as I'm moving through this process and I'm seeing where those energies creep up and where it is that we get to really kind of flip those narratives, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a reason they call TV programming, right, Jen? I do. I have some of the Netflix is my guilty pleasure sometimes when I need to unplug, but I make sure to detach myself from that energy, right, and to not get sucked in, because it's not called programming by mistake. Clear. Yes, sister. Our little star baby is very lucky, and we are very lucky to have him. He is really just the sweetest, gentlest little baby. He gets his day and his night mixed up, so he sleeps a lot, which I've heard is common with babies. He sleeps a lot during the day. He's awake a lot at night. But he really, I mean, I couldn't have asked for I don't want to say I don't want to say he's a good baby. I hate saying that because that makes it sound like some babies aren't. And of course, all babies, they're just babies, right? They're just trying to acclimate to this world. But so far, he's been a pretty easy baby. And so I am grateful for that. But even still, it's never these first weeks and months are never easy, right? It's an adjustment, and there's still a lot. There's a lot of finagling. Luckily, I have a huge support system and a huge team. So I am so grateful for that, and so grateful that allows me to be the best that I can be for him as well, right? So it's a really great lesson in that. And luckily, by this point in my life, I have learned how to ask for help and how to accept help from others. So that fortunately is not a struggle for me at this time. And it's a really great opportunity to practice that as well. Let's see. Anything else here? Oh, thank you, Ancient Rose Water. Yes. All right. So let's get some energy here for this new moon in Leo. This new moon portal in Leo. For the collective for which I channel. What are we going to be experiencing? What's going on? What does Spirit want to tell us? All right, got the King of Cups as the first card out. And so this is all about the emotional body, right? This is about emotional maturity is how I'm feeling this energy right now. And I'm really being drawn to the fact that he's holding what appear to be two cups, right? Or he's holding something in both hands. And that to me always looks like another cup in a manner of speaking. It's probably a staff or something, but it looks to me like another cup. So this is once again that energy of discernment. What is important and what is not? What is fulfilling to me and what is not? And so it's really about weighing our options. It's about making choices and decisions. And what we're being guided to do is to make those decisions from the heart space, to make those decisions based on what is best going to fulfill ourselves, what is best going to fulfill you emotionally, spiritually, in all aspects, what is going to sustain you. The word sustainability and sustain is really coming through. The fish is really jumping out at me. There is a fish in the King of Cups card. There's a fish and there's also a ship behind him. And the phrase that's coming to mind is what ships are leaving and what ships are coming in. Because during this time period, we all have ships that are leaving, as in endings. And we also have ships coming in. We have new beginnings. Thank you, Immaculata, and welcome, beautiful. Hello, Eve. Welcome as well. Hello, Stanley. And yes, keen observation. Thank you for reminding people to hit that like button. So yeah, ships coming in, ships leaving. We want to allow the ships to pass us by that are not sustaining us and our growth, that are not providing us nourishment, and allow the ones to come in that are. Yes, the Jupiter retrograde, I'm hoping to get a video done on that. And so this is important too, because a lot of these energies are kind of setting us up for the retrograde, having Jupiter stationing today. So what I'm feeling is set those intentions during this new moon, and then allow the Jupiter retrograde to move you through the belief systems and anything that needs to be released that's preventing the fullness of your manifestation. Let's get some more energy with this King of Cups. I also heard two ships passing in the night. So we have the Hermit here. There's an awakening. There's an epiphany. Somebody is coming to understand something. Somebody's searching for something. And I just heard look behind you, which is interesting. And you notice the ship is behind him. The fish is behind him. So does that mean look into the past? What does that mean? Look behind you. What it feels like to me is a very Four of Cups energy. Yes, two ships passing in the night. A Four of Cups energy. Like in the Four of Cups card, Spirit is presenting him with a cup, but he's too busy looking at the cups that have spilled on the ground, or the cups that he has, rather. The cups that he has that are not fulfilling to him. So this goes back to the energy of you have everything you need already. All the resources, everything that you are looking for, you already have. And it's not just that you already have it within, which you do. You already have it manifested in physical reality as well. You're just not recognizing it. That's what that feels like to me, because we have the Eight of Cups. So this is the energy of walking away, right? Give me one more. Got the Seven of Cups, confusion. Yeah, this feels to me like somebody, somebody who doesn't recognize what they have for what it's worth. I mean, there's an obvious storyline here, right? Which is the energy of walking away from that which doesn't serve, that which doesn't fulfill us and nourish us, right? Having that awakening and that epiphany. But there's a deeper story here relating to somebody, and it has to do with not recognizing the worth of what we have. Maybe because we had too many options, and it was like we couldn't recognize the option. It was like the thing that we wanted or desired. Truly, that was the thing that was truly going to fulfill our desires, was right in front of our face the whole time, but we turned our back on it. And we were searching everywhere else for the thing that we already had. And this could be a message relating to love for someone, right? Or we overlooked someone, and that could be part of that two ships passing in the night. We overlooked someone or something because it wasn't shiny enough. It wasn't flashy enough. We didn't think it was what we were looking for. We were closed-minded in a sense, or we were blinded by something else that seemed better, more desirable. Then we got the Seven of Pentacles coming out. Review. Yeah, so this has a lot to do with just reviewing in general, looking at, I feel like for some people, there may be some regret for some people as we realize that we didn't fully appreciate the things or the people that we had. Oh, thank you, Eva. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Yeah, where we didn't appreciate the things that we had. You know, like that phrase, like you don't know what you got till it's gone. I definitely feel that for some people. Or where it's like we turned down a person or an opportunity, and now we wish that we hadn't. And for others, this is about really beginning to learn and value our worth. And now that we've learned and valued our worth, we've pulled our energy away from those things, or this is what we're being guided to do, is pull your energy away from that which doesn't serve you, which doesn't fill your cup. And all of a sudden, when we pull back and clear our energy, we're presented with all of these options. And then it's about really, we're being asked, if you're being presented with a lot of options, Take the time that you need to really consider what's going to bring you the truest fulfillment. And don't overlook the thing. It's like the thing, there might be something bright and shiny, but remember, all that glitters is not gold. There may be something that's a little more rough around the edges, like an unpolished diamond is kind of like the analogy I want to use. And you don't want to miss that because you're being distracted by the shiny things. I guess that's the best way to put it. If wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. Fair. Hello, Diana. Welcome. Yeah. So really consider, and don't allow yourself to, it's kind of like this energy where we dress things up and try to make them look better, but I don't want to use the analogy that's coming to mind because I just don't want to use it. What was coming to mind was that phrase, what is it? Like, if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. But I feel like that can be taken so many ways. And I don't want that. There's like a derogatory kind of a feeling or an energy to that a little bit, but it's that kind of an energy where it's like, when you buy things for the label, I guess is another analogy that we can use. And oftentimes, sometimes it is of higher quality, right? And it is better. Sometimes it's the same exact thing you can buy. It's sort of like okay, so here's a different analogy. When you go to the grocery store and you can buy the same product without the name brand for less money, but it's still the same product, you're still going to get the job done. Can't polish a turd, Pippi. There you go. I mean, there's a lot of analogies that are coming to mind that are like around in that same kind of an ilk, right? They're not super graceful, but they get the point across. Can't hide the truth. Absolutely not. You can't hide the truth either. Can't roll, but you can roll it in glitter. Sugar. Yeah, there's so many. All right. But you guys get the picture, right? And so it's like something might be dressed up to and it might appear better or appear to have more value, but it's like the diamond in the rough energy. That I like that analogy. That's what it's like, look for and recognize the diamond in the rough. And for some people, it's like you realize that you were the diamond in the rough. And definitely for somebody watching this, either you or the person you are concerned with in a love or romantic sense did not recognize the diamond when they had it. And they let the diamond go for something less than a diamond, I guess you could say. Or we'll put it that way, because nobody's less, right? The diamond, perfect diamond for you, right? Because there's somebody out there that's perfect for everybody. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're perfect for me, right? Somebody had or is being presented with a thing that is actually a perfect match for them. Notice it looks like a star inside of here right now for some reason. But are you going to recognize it? And if you didn't recognize it in the past, is there time to make that right? All right, clear. Let's see what other information we can get here. Well, what else wants to come out? We have the Hierophant coming out. Commitment. I'm definitely feeling commitment from that. Commitment to a path, commitment to a purpose, a commitment to a person. Yes, perhaps as well. Ooh, and then we got the 8 of Wands coming out with the King of Swords. So there's communication coming through. This is for some people, communication about somebody wanting to make a commitment. Whether this is a commitment to back you on a project, whether this is a commitment to hire you for a job. For some people, absolutely for love, right? A commitment, a relationship, taking that to the next level. A promotion. Your status. It's like a a bump up in status in some way, shape, or form. But there's this energy with the King of Swords here. This feels like really blunt, brutal, honest communication. That's what we're receiving, or what's being called for right now. Clear. Tell me more. For somebody, this is what the step up in status, the leveling up was about, was learning how to have this open, honest, blunt communication when necessary. How to be decisive and assertive. That we have judgment coming out. Yeah, somebody's being called to take action here swiftly. To be decisive, to step up and into their power. Tell me more. Two of Swords. So this is anywhere where we have been kind of like, and now we got the Nine of Cups coming out, right? We call that the genie in a bottle energy. All right. So somewhere where we have been sort of at a crossroads, or we've been sort of resisting taking action in some area of our lives, resisting making a choice or a decision, we're really being called to step up, to take that decisive action. There's like, it's like we can't rest on our laurels anymore, whether it's because it's just gotten too emotionally uncomfortable, too physically uncomfortable, or it's just some outer force is really pushing us to act. And what this is going to lead to is everything that we want and desire. All right. And a major upgrade for some of us in our job, in a relationship, in our status, in some area of our lives, and definitely a massive spiritual upgrade. Don't be afraid to speak your piece, to speak your truth, to take action. And also, like we said, what is the King of Swords? He is very logical, right? He takes the necessary steps. He's not afraid to hurt people's feelings. That doesn't mean that he's cruel, right? When he's balanced, he's not cruel about it. But he's not going to, what's the saying? I guess I'm going to use the analogy that my friend and I used the other night. He's not going to starve himself so that others can eat. There was a better analogy that I wanted, but I couldn't remember exactly. Hello, Jody. Great to see you. Yeah. Blunt, open, honest communication. We want to be careful, especially today where we have Mercury involved in that grand cross in the sign of Leo, opposing Saturn, squaring those nodes, squaring all that energy with the nodes. All right. We want to make sure that we say what we mean and we mean what we say. And we want to just be purposeful with our words. All right. Honest, open, and vulnerable. Yes. And there's a strength in that. Yeah. Yeah, so the King of Swords isn't afraid to cut the things away, right? To cut the fat, so to speak. He sees where it is that that fat needs to be trimmed, and he's not afraid to do it. So for some people, it's trimming out the excess. For some people, it's like you speaking your truth is, and this is reminding me of an analogy that I honest out of love, exactly. Yep. Of an analogy that I use a lot, where when I have conversations with people about being afraid to be their authentic selves around other people or speak their truth because they don't want to offend people and they don't want to lose friends or relationships, the thing that I remind them of is, sorry, adjusting my mic there. Really, when you do that, the people that aren't meant to be in your life are the people that are going to take offense or fade away, right? The people that are meant to be in your life that truly love you for you are not going to abandon you because you are your authentic self, because you speak your truth. It's really doing all the work for you of trying to weed out the people that don't belong in your life anyway. All right. And so let the truth do that for you. If you're not we're not all going to be everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. But the people who are meant to drink our specific brand of tea will love us that much more for it. And if we're pretending to be if we're pretending to be Earl Grey and we're really spiced chai, then the people who love spiced chai are never going to find us because they think we're Earl Grey. All right. So stop being Earl Grey if you're really spiced chai. Clear. Anything else that wants to come out? I'm going to pull a couple Akashic Tarot here. 6 of Pentacles, reciprocity, even give and take. And 10 of Wands. Put the burdens down. All right. These are the reminders, the closing reminders for us. Make sure that your relationships are even and balanced. Make sure that your life is even and balanced. Your energies are even and balanced. Giving and receiving is on point. And stop carrying all this extra weight. It doesn't serve you. It does not benefit you. Do not deplete yourself unnecessarily. Oh, Jody, I love you so much. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate you. You won't lose him. You can't. You can't completely. Oh, God. I feel like you need a personal reading or something. I know what you've got going on. It's a lot. It's a lot, but you are so beautiful. You are so strong, Mama. Yeah. In time, all is revealed. And I think we talked about this a little bit in the last live stream. You know, just sometimes it's about just loving people unconditionally where they're at. Letting them go through their pain, letting them go through their lessons. And letting them know that we're there. When the ultimate, interesting. Look what I had. I had the Ace of Wands inverted with the Death card and the 3 of Swords here. Letting them know that when the chips fall, we're there. Just being that fiercely loving and compassionate person that we are, right? All right. Clear. Let's get some closing guidance from the Akashic Tarot for this new moon in Leo. We should always be careful of wolves in sheep's clothing, CJD. It's really painful sometimes watching the lessons that other people chose to go through. Especially when they're the people that we love, especially when they're our own children. I can only imagine, honestly. I can only imagine. This is a real call for detachment, right? It's a real call from detachment, from taking on a real call of like not taking on. And it's, I especially having a child now and feeling that bond and the level of protectiveness that I feel for him. It's like I'm almost putting my foot in my mouth saying this, Jody, right? But it's like, there's a level of detachment that we have to find sometimes, even from the people especially sometimes from the people that we're closest to. where we can love them unconditionally, but we don't have to take on their struggle as our own, because if we do, we'll drown. And at some point, especially when there are babies, right? They're gonna need us to be that life raft. And so we can't be drowning ourselves. It's so hard. And this is why, thank you, Immaculata, for that generous donation. This is why I think we learn these lessons through the people we're closest to sometimes, because nobody else could teach us. It's easy to let go, and it's easy to not take on another person's struggle when it's a coworker, or when it's a friend, like an acquaintance, or even a friend, really, when it comes down to it, like the people we're closest to, our children, and some of these people. I mean, this is the hardest way that this lesson can be learned. All right, but we couldn't learn in any other way. So it's really about learning and trying to find a way to not take on all of that energy and that struggle as your own, and to just be there. Be that powerful, loving force that you are for whatever transpires. But can we wake anybody up? Can we wake anybody up? Right? We can't. We can be that example. We can plant seeds, but we can't, it's impossible we can't take that on, because we can't take on the impossible. We can be that example. We can be that love. We can project that love. But the hardest thing to really understand, or not understand, but the hardest thing to accept, right? Because understanding and acceptance are two very different things. All right. The hardest thing to accept is that this process, when we see somebody going through this kind of a painful process, that is their process of waking up. That's how they get woken up, right? That's like the shaking that's waking them up. But it takes a while for them to come out of that. And life's got to shake them that way. We can't. All right, let's get some final energies here. Speaking as somebody who spent many years working with the energy of addiction, right? Healing from the energy of addiction, I can say the only place that I saw people get clean from was rock bottom. And everybody's rock bottom looks different for them, right? But until we hit that point, we weren't able, whatever it was that had a hold of us, that had a grip on us, whatever that addiction was, right? It can be a person, it can be anything. It was stronger than we were until we hit that point. So if life is pushing somebody you love to rock bottom right now, the best thing you can do is let it do it. Let life do that. And let them know that you are there unconditionally when they're ready to accept. You can extend your hand, but don't bend down to do it. Let them meet you where you're at. What was it? There was an analogy I was watching. There's a guy, he has a channel, it's called Inner Standing, and I started watching something that he was talking about the other day, and he was using the analogy of a brick and a feather. And he said, can a feather hold up a brick? If you were able to tie a feather to a brick, which one is the feather going to raise the brick, or is the brick going to sink the feather? The brick is going to sink the feather every time. Hey, if you're being led to try, then try, and then you know that you did everything in your power. If I mean, I will absolutely say that and honor that. Sometimes we need to try. We need to try to wake somebody up, because we will not be able to live with ourselves if we don't know that we did everything that we possibly could. And I absolutely understand that too. But give yourself that gift. If you try and you are unable to achieve what you are attempting, give yourself the gift of allowing that to be enough. That's my hope. All right. I've definitely been in situations like that where I knew that I had to give what I knew I was capable of giving to a situation, to a person, so that way I wasn't plagued with guilt that I wish I had done something more. But I also knew where had to find a line, right? A boundary of like how crazy I would allow myself to become in the process. So I think that's perfect. I think the reason we've been talking about this situation is because it's a really great analogy of these energies and the kinds of choices that we're going to have to make right now. And I want to point out the most important part about this conversation that we're having is the fact that I can give my opinion, right? I can give share my own experience, but ultimately it doesn't matter what I have to say, because we each know what feels right for us in a current situation, right? So always honor that. Always honor what your own intuition is telling you is the right path for you, regardless of what other people say. Take in other feedback, but at the end of the day, it's up to each and every single one of us to make our own choice and decision. Diana, exactly. But just as our free will is at play when we make these choices, we have to honor and understand that other people's free will is at play as well. And so we can never control what the outcome is going to be, but always trust your own intuition as to what is the right path for you at this time. Ooh, Robin, I like this. She says, when there's no oxygen, the feather will fall at the same rate as the brick. I did not know that, but I love that. I really like that response to that analogy. And I just want to take a moment to honor you, Jody, just as an individual. You are so powerful and so beautiful. And I have so much love and respect for you and any and every path that you take. And your family is so lucky to have you. Ursula, hello, welcome. Okay, let's get some closing guidance here for this Leo new moon from the Akashic Tarot. We got the chess game coming out. All right, so this is that strategic energy. This is that think 5 steps ahead. I wanted to say 3, but I felt compelled to say more than that. Every choice, every decision that you're making now, think ahead. This is about playing the long game right now. This is about the knowing and the understanding that it's not about the short-term gratification. It's about what's going to happen in the long term from the choices and decisions that we make. How are the choices and decisions that I make going to affect myself, the individuals in my world, and the greater collective reality as well? Then we have views of the ego coming out with the increscent moon and the 2 of roses inverted. And I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way or not, but that's about winged messengers. Those are the cards that wanted to come out here. So, views of the ego is pretty obvious, right? We looked at this when we looked at that Mercury in Leo energy. involved in that grand cross? Where are we allowing our ego to run the show? Where is it that are our choices and decisions being motivated? This is what Spirit is asking us to take into consideration. Are my choices and decisions being motivated by ego? And what level of ego? Right? And what does that mean to me? What does ego mean to me? Does it mean that my choices and decisions are being motivated from a place of self-preservation, from a selfish motive? Does it mean that I'm making choices and decisions that are upholding the version of myself or my reality that I am clinging to that is outdated? Does it mean that I'm making choices and decisions out of fear? Those are all ways that we make choices and decisions out of ego in a negative sense sometimes. Am I allowing my narrow perception of myself, circumstances, and reality to dictate the choices and decisions that I make? Is this causing me to be a pawn in somebody else's game? Ooh. And that's one thing that we're all being asked to really look at right now. Am I a pawn in somebody else's game, or am I playing my own game of chess? Right? Who is the master? If there are two people playing against each other, sitting at this table, who is the master? The master chess player. Can we learn to be the master chess player? And can we learn how to take our ego out of it? For some people, this is like a need to be right. For some people, this is a need to, it's like I'm being reminded of cognitive dissonance, which is this energy where if we're presented with a fact that doesn't fit our narrative, we instantly dismiss it. We only look at the facts and the information that upholds our point of view. I can't remember what I just said, but whatever that question was, it was an important one. Are we trapping ourselves? Is it me versus sitting at this table? All right. This is the vision that Spirit's giving me right now. It's like our higher self and our human self sitting at a table, playing chess with each other. Which one are we going to allow to win the game? Which one are we going to allow to move the pieces? Where are the kings and the queens? Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Cusp's energy sometimes runs like that, Jody. I'm a cusp, a loose cusp. I was born May 17th. So I am just within a few days of Gemini. 4 days, I think it is. So that's why I call it a loose cusp. But my niece is a cusp. I thought my child might be. And if I hadn't ended up having a planned cesarean due to him being breech, maybe he would have come closer to that. But honestly, I couldn't handle 2 or 3 more weeks of being pregnant at that point either. So I'm glad it all happened the way it happened, ultimately. Hello, Nora. Welcome, beautiful. Leo heart and Virgo mind. I love that. Leo heart and Virgo mind. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's what my niece is as well. She's a Leo Virgo cusp with a Mercury in Leo. All right. So let's see what else we got going on here. We have the increscent moon. And so this is very much, this energy to me feels very much like a 8 of Pentacles energy, right? Working on things, creating, right? The sculptor. So we're taking the analogy of the game of chess, and now we're also looking at it as what we're sculpting, what we're creating. And what I'm being reminded of as I look at this is this analogy that people give when they talk about how an artist looks at, like the sculptor looks at a block of clay, and this is what he sees. He doesn't see a lump of clay. He sees what's underneath. I believe it was Michelangelo. I could be wrong about this, but I want to say it was Michelangelo who said that what he did was he simply freed the image, the person that was contained within that clay. That's what he saw, and he just worked to set them free with every pounding or whatever you want to call it of that chisel. So it's like working diligently toward your dreams. Seeing, and once again, I love how this connects, right? This is like that diamond in the rough energy. He sees that rough diamond, but he doesn't see a rough diamond. He sees the polished, the final work. And so once again, it's being able to see the potential around us and to craft and cultivate that potential. And most importantly, to be able to see that potential within ourselves. And where this was inverted, it kind of feels like a message that was lost in transit. That's interesting. An invitation, right? You see how this table's set for tea? So this is absolutely an invitation from your angels and guides to connect. But it's also, it's like I'm feeling like somebody was given, it's like something was intercepted. Some type of communication was intercepted because the timing wasn't right. And now perhaps for somebody that timing's coming through. Give me a clarifier on the timing. Okay. We're going to use the Intuit Oracle for clarification on this here. Clear. Give me a clarification on this timing, this message. Divine timing needed to be at play. I don't know if I'm feeling these cards or not. Got arguments fighting the whip. Coming out with the child in the bouquet, which is all about fresh starts, new beginnings. So perhaps there was communication that was intercepted or didn't go through because people would have said things that they would later regret. And now you're being given an opportunity to have the communication from a more heart-centered place. So this kind of feels like, you know, when you go to send a text message, it's so funny. I looked at the screen and I saw the message retracted there. When you go to send a message or something and you think that it goes through, but it doesn't because you didn't have reception or something. That's kind of what it feels like. Thank you, Sanzea. Ooh, I like that, Eve. About the tea. Yeah. Heart coming out. Yeah, so there's definitely an energy of love here. It's like a message of love was intercepted or wasn't received. And for some people, it's more of like a message that wasn't received because you would have done the same thing that you've done over and over again. If it had been received in that time frame, it wasn't meant to be received yet. Or you would have said something that you couldn't take back. And so now it's kind of like that message is going through or something like that. Or it's being, you're able to receive it now. But it's like your angels or your guides purposefully delayed the receiving of that message. And this also, this is interesting. This is interesting, you guys. We got the King of Fire with the Lily coming out here, and this is Aries energy. And he is the Emperor. So there's definitely like a powerful, this is some of that love connection energy I was feeling coming through. Then we got the Princess of Water, which is Pisces energy, the moon. But I'm feeling a past life energy here for whoever this love energy is about. It's like in the past, somebody, this is like super old, before we had telephones, before we had all of that kind of stuff, right? Somebody was supposed to meet somebody at a certain time and the other person never showed. The other person never showed. And so now it feels like in this lifetime, you're getting the opportunity to come back together. Now that you're more matured. But if this is somebody who has, like, this is resonating for you, and I'm feeling like if this is resonating for you, you're going to be getting chills, or you're going to be feeling some type of body sensation when you listen to this. Something like that. Something in the heart chakra maybe, or the sacral solar plexus. I don't know. If you already know this person, if you feel like this is about a person that you've already met, this might be some of the reason why you've had this push-pull energy between you. Because one of you remembers feeling abandoned by the other. You remember what it felt like when the other person didn't show. And there was no way back then to clear that misunderstanding up, right? It just felt like abandonment. But I feel like the other person, it feels like they meant to come. I don't know if something happened, if they died, or if they were intercepted somehow. Something, it feels like something outside of their control prevented them from being able to show up. They really, really wanted to. And it feels like they tried to get word to you, but they couldn't. I don't know if you ever heard from them in this lifetime, or vice versa, if this is them with you. So there's been a healing of that energy. I'm being drawn to there's a J here with a heart. Jack of Hearts. I don't know. That J is standing out to me. And there's 3 hearts here on this card, right? The little one, the bigger one, the shadow, and then on the drawing of the heart. So this could be thrice that you've tried to come back together. It's almost like maybe they tried to, so maybe they didn't die, right? Maybe they just couldn't get to you in time for whatever reason. And then the time was up. And they tried to get a letter to you. They tried to communicate, but it just never reached you. And so if this is somebody, for whoever this resonates for, if this is somebody that you know and there's been that push-pull energy between you, there's a healing to that coming, but that's why. That's why. Part of what's, I mean, I'm sure there's issues in this lifetime as well, right? But that's part of what it is. But there's a healing to that energy. There's a lot of powerful, like, sexual chemistry between the two of you. With the Lily and the Aries card, the King of Fire card here. I'm definitely feeling a lot of that powerful, passionate chemistry. But it's like your souls are healing and maturing. And it feels like a part. It feels like if this is somebody you know, you've been through a separation. If this is someone you haven't met yet, then you've been healing separately and you're going to come together. Let me do Within 9 months. Let me do dog, soulmate, dependable, faithful. I'm feeling though like that when we're talking about coming together, it's like you might, if you haven't met yet, you might meet through a mutual friend. Yeah, that was the winter. The card that said, the Pisces card that said within 9 months also said winter on it. And we have the winter card coming out here. And so I feel like this person's coming into your life or coming back into your life during the winter. And they need this time in order to continue to mature and progress. So if you've been trying to call in your soulmate to balance themselves, to find their own personal wellness and equilibrium. So if you're trying to call in a soulmate right now and they haven't arrived and this is powerfully resonating for you, know that it's not time yet, but it will be. They're still becoming the person that they need to be so that you don't have a repeat of the situation. And if this is a person, if whoever this is resonating for, this is somebody that you do feel that you've already met, they need more time to mature before you come back together. Yeah, sands of time on the bottom of the deck here too. They need more time, so trust in the timing. Know that it will come at the right time when you both are complete and whole within. And be patient. Patience is required in this connection. It's going to be hard to practice that kind of energy with a Celtic knot coming through. As I shuffle here and put the cards back in the deck. Because like I said, there's a powerful attraction in this connection. Clear. All right. I think we're going to call it for today, you guys. I should get back to my clear. Check on my little babes. Right? All the good things. Maybe eat some, have a snack. All the normal regular life things. Your Chinese birth sign is dog. Oh, that's beautiful, Jody. I think my partner's is as well. He couldn't really remember. I haven't checked into it for him. It's a beautiful energy. I am a tiger, and so is my son, which is kind of cool. I'm a wood tiger, and he is, I believe, a water tiger. This is the year of the water tiger right now. Yeah, the mist intersection, exactly, Lightmaker. And that's interesting too, because remember that phrase, two ships passing in the night, came through earlier too. I don't know if that was related or not, but I think that's interesting. Hello, Awakened Geo. Oh, good. I hope that resonated. We always come at the perfect time, right? All right. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. Hello, Liquid Fire. Yes. Hello, Mitchell. You're a wood tiger too? Awesome. Love it. All right. Happy new moon in Leo. Hello, Isha. Hello, beautiful. We're just wrapping up now, but I hope you guys have an incredible new moon. Really work with these energies, set those intentions. Know, like we said, that Jupiter is going into retrograde, and so it may take a little while for the full fruition to come through, but this is a powerful magnetic energy. Really meditate with that heart energy. Open up to that heart energy. Work with that wounded inner child, healing that inner child, playing with that inner child, right? That came through as we were talking about the astrology. Really work on playing with and nurturing your inner child during this energy. And clear. If you guys haven't seen the 8-8 portal video and the triple conjunction video, check those out, because that triple conjunction is happening. Mars, Uranus, North Node exacting on the 1st. And that 8-8 portal, we are very much in the gateway, clear, of that energy right now. Don't get caught in the ruins. Don't get caught in the past. Keep moving forward. Keep opening up This energy is all about breaking free of the restrictions that our ego places on us, breaking out of the mold. And it's really the mold that we've placed ourselves in, the box that we've placed ourselves in that we may not have even realized we were in, right? All right. You guys are incredible. You are so beautiful. The ships made you think of Turkey. Interesting. Interesting. That's the association you had for a reason. I love it. I love hearing what people feel when I pull the cards. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I could keep saying things, but it's not important. If you guys feel called to work with me individually, shoot me an email. Let me know. I am compiling a wait list for when I come off of maternity leave, and I will be on here again when I can be. I'm trying to do these lives as often as I can until I'm officially back here. So whenever I get the time and I have the energy, I'll be hopping on here clear with you guys. And yeah, we're not sure when that will be, but it will be at the perfect time again, in the perfect now moment. All right, you guys. Did you, Jamie? Oh, that's powerful. Yeah. Thank you, guys. So much love. So much appreciation to each and every single one of you, as well as everyone who's catching this on the replay. All right. I will see you later. All of my pricing and everything is on my website, Jody. And so I do just personal tarot readings for $88.88. I do astrology, astro tarot, or chart readings for $99.99. I have a combo that I offer with my energy sessions, my Velaspita, which is always my recommendation if people can, and that is $150 for that, and that's a 90-minute session that includes an angelic healing, lots of different things, and I can always sort of work with people as well. There's a lot of flexibility in all the things I do. So yeah, I have my website linked in the description box below. Go check that out. Shoot me an email as well, and we can figure something out, and we can get you on the wait list if you are interested in that for when I get back. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, there are quite a few people who have experienced the combo. The combo healing is my favorite because we do the reading, but then there's a level of healing that comes through the reading itself. But then we can really get in there, invite the angels to really join us in assisting in working through and releasing and healing some of the things specific to what it is that we're talking about and what it is that's coming up. So it's a really powerful way to get, it's like we're doing the reading, but there's more of a constructive energy that we're bringing in that actually helps to energetically assist in a more powerful way the things that we're talking about. So I like that. Being a Virgo moon, I like it when we can get in and we have a little bit of structure, and we can also like address, instead of just bringing things up, we get to actually address them and begin moving through them. And I think, did you say you were a Virgo moon too, Jody? If you did, then you'll absolutely understand that and appreciate that, that we're getting in there to actually, Virgos, we like to address things head on. We like to say, okay, there's an issue. Where's the solution, right? That's how we are the most helpful. And we feel the most helped. Hello, Tommy. Much love to you as well. So yeah, reach out, shoot me an email. You guys are incredible. I love you. I appreciate you. Hello, Carlisle. Much love to you as well. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.